everyone, hey, and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host, Tom Kwei, here with a quick recap of a very cool event that went down just yesterday, that being Speak Up, a charity rap battle for mental health, or many charity rap battles for mental health. This was a really cool thing, collab that Bagnall was one of the main orchestrators behind, between Lad Bible and the charity Time to Speak. And yeah, all the battles were mental health themed one-rounders. There were a few live performances. It was a really interesting event, quite a brief event. And today I figured a lot of people would be curious about how it went down, how the actual contest fared. So it's going to be myself and a guest going through all that stuff. Just before we get to that, please follow us at battlerapresume. Get in touch with me, battlerapresume@gmail.com. Help support the show if you enjoy the show. We are on iTunes. You can find us on Spotify. You can leave us a donation, patreon.com/battlerapresume. With Ben today, Ben has filmed many battles for BRR, done lots of editing. He's a patron, a good friend, a great man. Ben, how's it going, man?
That was lovely. Thank you. Yeah, good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, before we delve into it individually, like as a whole, what are your impressions of yesterday?
I thought it was a really good event, actually. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know that. I don't think I knew that they would all be themed battles. I just assumed it was a normal battle event. Didn't know how it would go. Obviously, I don't think they've done any kind of event like that before. But yeah, it was awesome. I thought it everything went really smoothly. Like everything was on time, which like that doesn't, you know, you can't say that for a lot of events. It ran to a schedule. Like every battle had a different theme, and they all all the battlers seemed to really take those themes and run with them. Like
yeah,
I enjoyed all of them. I think all the battles were really good in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the battles were supposed to be live streamed to the Lad Bible page, which I'm pretty certain is one of the biggest video viewing platforms in the history. You know, I think it's up there with anything else. I was going to say like fucking Unilad or whatever, but obviously they incorporate that, swallow that in, but all of those viral aggregator ideas. But it didn't go on there. It was being filmed by Bagnall and a few other people, so hopefully these do go up. I mean, they need to just create their own YouTube channel for events like this and stuff for posterity, because things are so hard to find on the news feed, no matter how well you archive them. But yeah, you're right, it was a quick event. And I like the venue as well, 44 Parish Street. I think that could easily be used for a chalked out, don't flop, code red kind of soiree.
Definitely, yeah. It was really big as well. It had there were three sort of big rooms that, I mean, each of them could really have a battle event in them, really. And there were like 3 bars, big outdoor area. It was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of had like a sort of concrete bunker aesthetic, and it did have a big bar which came in large space, as you're saying. Performance space was great as well, with a big stage towards the back of the room with a large screen behind that, kind of the Speak Up iconography and stuff like that on there. So yeah, it was hosted ably by Rap 6, who, you know, kept the topics on point as well, bringing up a lot of the issues they were raising, as well as being quite good-humoured. I thought he was a really good host, and he kept the energy high. And the first battle was Bamalam versus Madness.
Yeah, this was good. Madness went first. I think it was announced as a happiness versus sadness.
That's right.
Battle, but then and Madness being happy and Bamalam being sad.
Yeah, that was the general idea. Yeah, and they
what was it? It was like manic versus depressive or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Like a lot of them were kind of on the positive negative paradigm spectrum. That was kind of what they were exploring. But as you said earlier, one of the things that I loved was all the battlers were really on board with the ideas. Like sometimes, you remember that DC Marvel Gemini dialect? Yeah. Where, like, I think Dialect did DC and Marvel bars. And, like, just the fanboy in me was crying. I was like, this isn't consistent, you know? So, at least with Bam and Madness and all the other things, like, this was really good. And Bam, you know, we haven't seen him on a battle rap stage for God knows how long, you know.
Like 2 years or something, 3 years maybe?
Maybe more, yeah, quite probably on Don't Flop, I guess, like, back when he was doing that. So yeah, fair long time ago. But I thought it was excellent. I thought Madness was great as well. I individually in terms of battles, it's kind of hard for me to think of any lines. I wasn't really making notes or whatever. Yeah. But the crowd loved it throughout, and there were tons of people there. And I don't know if it was you I was saying it to yesterday, but probably the highest ratio I've ever seen of a female to male attendance.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's probably Yeah, probably was.
I've never seen so many women in the building, and I know a lot. I was speaking to a lot of them, and I know a lot of them were Speak Up employees as well. So they were here just to see that the event was going to thing. But there were a lot of people in general anyway. A lot of old faces that you see at all these sort of events. A lot of people turned out, and the vibe was excellent. Speaking of that, of course, one thing people might not realise as these get released, the headliner was shit canned. Real Deal versus O'Shea. Put a post about this on the Friday just beforehand, that they watched the Myverse battle and felt maybe it wasn't appropriate for him to be at the top. But it's kind of an irony there, isn't there, Ben? I guess none of these battlers, they're not without skeletons in their closet, so to speak.
Yeah, I was saying that to you yesterday. Like, if you could look at any of the battlers' like back catalogs, and you could pick any battle probably, and there's some pretty bad stuff if taken out of context. Like, it's kind of unfair that O'Shea was singled out. Because we'll talk about it, but the material that Real Deal had, like, I feel like that would have just been so good with O'Shea, and we'll never hear what O'Shea was going to say, but no. That would have been a really good battle. It's a shame it didn't happen as it was supposed to.
Yeah, the bars are there, so I'm sure they'll cross paths on some sort of stage in the future. So hopefully they'll do something like that. And I think as a straight up battle as well, Osh needs to see Real Deal. But yeah, that I think the Myverse clash is particularly inflammatory. I'm pretty sure.
It is.
Obviously, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it shut down O'Shea's Facebook page as well. They had like 20,000 likes or something. He shared it, and anyone that's not aware, he speaks about jizzing on his own son, so it's pretty incendiary stuff amongst other anti-feminist rhetoric. But it's Osh, we love him for this sort of stuff. So things move forward. I thought the acoustics were brilliant. Obviously, when you got Bagnall at the helm, it's going to be that way. What was it? Around this time, I don't know if it was just afterwards, I accosted Ed Lilly, who you pointed out to me, the director of Versus, and I just went up to him and I said how much.
Did he recognise you?
He didn't recognise. Well, the thing is with the show, there's loads of people like Real Deal and like Madness, for example, that obviously I've spoken to for hours online. But so I go up to them and I'm like, "Oh, it's Tom Barrow, isn't a podcast?" And normally those three words they always light up normally and recognise me. So it's normally, yeah. So it's great to see a few people there. But yeah, I spoke to Ed and I just basically just spoke at him, telling him how much I thought Versus was way better than Bodied, and he was just really humble about it. But yeah, it was great to see Ed there. One of the things we spoke about, I'm not necessarily going to hold him to this. I told him, and he was down, I want us to do a director's commentary of Versus on Battle Rap Resume. Yeah. So that would be mostly him, and maybe we can get like or someone else on as well. But there's quite a few podcasts that do commentaries for movies that don't have them. So we would just both put it on, at the same time and then talk over it and stuff. But I just like to hear him speak on the movie because I'm a giant fan of Versus. Definitely go watch Versus. I think it's on streaming platforms now and DVD and all that sort of stuff. But the day moved forward after Bam and Mandus. Was that Rex versus Quill by Rex versus Quill next?
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. And that was Bobby. So that was the bully versus victim.
That's right.
Bobby playing the bully, Quill playing the victim. And I think this was probably my battle of the day. I thought both of them really got into the character, and showed quite a vulnerable side to them that you don't really see in battle rap at all. And Bobby played a very convincing bully role.
He did.
It was and actually Quill as well. He did a very good job of playing the victim as well. And it was just really deep stuff in that battle.
It was, yeah. It was searching, and a lot of the images and ideas they were bringing up were quite painful. And as you say, yeah, Bobby as that sort of bellicose tyrant, like he's in his bag there. And I like the way, and we see this in other battles as well. Like we'll get to Gemini versus Chiller, that they clearly had sort of rehearsed or at least planned certain structural ideas where an idea would finish, and then Quill would finish the line and then go into a different perspective or get on the phone, and the way they were around each other. I want to say again, I really was impressed. This could have been a little bit of a half-assed cash-in, but all battlers doubled down on the concept.
Yeah, definitely. It was almost like a 2-on-2 the way they were sort of bouncing off each other. I don't know if they met up or whatever to rehearse it. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
Yeah. again, if you listen to this and you want to see these, I think Bagnall said he's putting them on the Lad Bible page today, this being the Sunday after the event. So, they should be available in some form, and hopefully they're going to release them as well. After that, was that Tony mirror match?
I think. Well, I tried to make a note of what happened. I think it was we had a performance from that girl.
Oh yes,
she was called Charlotte Turnbull.
Yeah, that's when I was bothering Ed Lilly, so I didn't really listen to her. Do you remember much?
Yeah, she was good. Never heard of her before, but she was a rapper and singer, so she did I assume they were her own songs. I'm not really sure, but yeah, she had a really good voice.
Yeah,
and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and it was great to see loads of people there as well. I chopped up with Madness after his battle. Whenever I see him, we tend to just talk about the Oscars, what's nominated. He agrees with me, Ben. Incredibles 2 is trash, so that was nice to be vindicated there.
That's good to know. Good to know.
And we also spoke about Shoplifters, which, dear listeners, anyone's aware of Shoplifters, the Japanese film about family of thieves in Tokyo, is a terrific movie as well. Saw Kruger there. Was there, and Mickey was there, and Bagnall tweeted about afterwards. This seems to have brought people together in a positive way, he tweeted.
What did he say?
He said, good to see... I'll try and find it. He said, good... Something I don't want to put words in his mouth, but something along the lines of, good to see or something like that.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I spoke to her for the first time right. When I was leaving. Yeah. He was... I think he was really enjoying the event. He was pretty impressed with everything.
Yeah, it was really good, actually. They really knocked it out of the park. Here we go. Bagnall said yesterday, very grateful for everyone to come and support. It was nice to see come and support as well. Love.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Good. Good to see.
Big words, and that is great to see. Maybe the event kind of made people appreciate there's often bigger things than the mom jokes and whatever, and that, it's very cool of them to move past that. So I'm not saying they've moved past it. Maybe not. We'll have to do another podcast. Maybe I don't really know. But what was next? Was it Chiller versus Gem?
No, Tony the mirror match.
Oh, it was Tony mirror match, which was rumored to be Hollow the Don coming over.
Yeah,
which would have been an amazing twist.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like most of the people there would not have appreciated that anyway. I don't think it wasn't really a full battle rap crowd, was it? There was a lot of casuals.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It would have been lost on them.
Yeah, absolutely. yeah. And it would have been funny if they did it, but they didn't. And it was Tony. The mirror match.
An actual mirror.
An actual mirror. Yeah, that's the thing. None of this iPad bullshit or whatever, or a camera like this. Was Tony looking into one of these just a mirror. I don't really know how to describe it. Mirror on the wall. The ones we've already seen. A catoptric surface, if we're getting technical. And I mean, Tony is one of the best to ever do it, and the mirror match, as we've seen with Innuendo and Pedro, and I think Raws did one that never got released. But you know what I mean? It's a nice canvas.
Definition.
Definition, of course. Yeah. Apparently, he invented it. Battlers like Tony, who are just very intelligent, perceptive guys. It's always fun to see them address them. Oh, yo, man.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So it's always fun to see Tony, in this mode, in this guise, and this, I guess, is a great return for him, building up to the JC clash and otherwise.
Yeah, it was. It was funny. He did have a bit of a choke at one point.
He choked against himself, which was meta.
Yeah, but then the crowd were massively cheering him, and he seemed to recover. I don't know if he missed any material, but he did recover from it. It was still good.
Yeah, he did. Again, great to see Tony back in the saddle there. Chiller versus Gem next, which was kind of a social media battle, who you are online versus who you are in reality.
Yeah, I missed the very start of this, so I didn't actually know what the theme of it was, but I think I picked it up. So was it specifically Twitter, or was it? It
seemed to be. There was a lot of Chiller on his phone, which was a useful prop, because I guess if you drop any bars, you can just scroll down. But it was kind of in that, what do you post, kind of misleading, images and archetypes and stuff like that. Again, I can't really recall too many actual bars from this, but I think the level of quality was equal throughout the entire night. I thought all of the guys brought it. Yeah,
I think so. And it did seem like they had they must have rehearsed this together somewhat, because there was a bit of there was even probably more bouncing off each other than the Bobby and Quill one, because it was almost like line for line at some point. But I think Chilla did choke as well in this one. Again, I don't know how much was missed out, but it did seem like Gemini had a lot more content than him. I don't know if that was just me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But again, all for a very, very good cause, and to raise awareness. And as I say, the Rap 6 in between, which reminded us why we were there, and the guys were really good. There was then a little live set, which was, I love that they put these in there, from Kalashnikov, which was a bit of a treat. It went down really well in the room.
Yeah, it did. I was at that point, I was stood next to Tony and Gemini, and they were like going crazy. They knew like every single word of the song "Murder" that he did. Yeah. Rapping along.
Yeah, I still remember at Concrete, before he battled Serious Jones, when that song was playing, Respect BA was like performing along to it and hyping up the crowd to it, and it's an incredible track. And was it Jest finished, didn't it? So we had Real Deal versus Frankie after
Real Deal versus Frankie was next, and I believe Frankie. This was on 24 hours prep as a replacement for O'Shea, I believe.
Yes, Frankie was writing his bars at 9 a.m. that day, which is pretty crazy. And Frankie put together a really kind of impressive verse, and Frankie often is dissecting these sort of topics in his soliloquies. And, I thought he put it together really well. I was quite impressed by his performance.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it wasn't as long as Real Deals, but it was really good. I remember he had like a Simpsons bar. I can't remember what it was, but I remember liking that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we said, but it was a compliments only battle.
That's right.
Yeah. So it was like really quite funny. Frankie, it was a one round each. Frankie went first, and then Real Deal was like so fucking good. And then he ended with like a really personal story sort of thing about his I can't remember. It was about his family or something.
Yeah. He was ploughing his personal tragedies. He mentioned his mother and his sister, and his inability to kind of rouse her from her addictions or something like that. Like, it really was earnest and powerful. And Real Deal is one of these performers who just can be so poignant and affecting. And I mean this in a good way. But if someone cut those 3 minutes and put a header and a footer and then put it on Facebook video, teacher delivers incredible mental health spoken word speech, I think everyone was completely moved. It got huge applause at the end.
Yeah, I think that could be said for any of the battles could probably go viral in their own right. I think particularly the Gemini and Chilla one, that would that needs the least explanation. Could just be its own thing. But yeah, I assume that's what Lad Bible's going to do with this stuff. Sure we'll see it surface in some way on Facebook.
Yeah, they got tons of great content. None of the battles were disappointing. They're all surprisingly really good. And then I learned a couple of days before the event that Jest was performing at the event. Jest is my all-time favourite, probably my all-time favourite rapper, but certainly my all-time favourite UK rapper. On Battle Rap Resume, we do a series called Gesticulations, where I go through all of his albums, his early EPs, stuff like that. So yeah, this guy's a god in my eyes, and he performed a little 20-minute set at the end. I've got to be honest, he wasn't really playing tracks that I wanted to hear. I think the majority of people weren't really, not that they weren't vibing with it, I just think they weren't as familiar with the music, and it's not as immediately accessible on that visceral level like Kalashnikov would be. Jest was mostly drawing from the Billy Green Is Dead album, which I listened to a lot yesterday. Fantastic record. He also did, what did he do? He did Killer Instinct, and he did Starting Over, which Starting Over was kind of a single, but what does a single mean in these day and age? I would have liked to have seen some Return of the Drifter, Premonitions, Falling Down type material. I don't know how many diehard Jest heads were there, but he was kind of in and out. It was quite a brief set.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there for that, so I can't really say anything about it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah.
Did you speak to him in the end?
I didn't get a chance to speak to him. I sort of had to shoot off really at the end, so no, I didn't get a chance. I would love to. I would definitely love to have him on the show as well and to go through that sort of stuff. But I mean, it was a free event as well. I think we were spoiled.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that I feel like they could have easily charged a tenner and you probably get, well, I don't know, maybe get the same amount of people. I would have paid normal battle rap prices for that. It was really good, and I think I think it should be commended how like each of the battles they were really accessible. Like I don't know how much they were like briefed by like the charity or whatever, but like there doesn't seem to be any like in jokes, no like references to other battles. It was very accessible, and like and I know that there were a lot of people there who probably hadn't seen any battles before, and I think that's a good thing, like to get new fans and stuff. So I think that worked pretty well, and it didn't alienate the people.
Giant plaudits to Lad Bible, to Bagnall, to all the battlers, all the performers, all of the team that were there as well, representing Time to Change. It was a triumph. It was a joy to be there, and a very memorable event, not least because I got my first ever fan asking for a photo. Shout out to Graham. He tagged me on my Instagram, and I went on his Instagram, and it looks like he got photos with everyone, so that was really great to see. He told me I had a really nice voice as well, which I rarely hear, so that was a good compliment. But seriously, yeah, shout out to Graham. Shout out to everyone that was there, and I got a chance to chop it up with and seek out these battles when they go down. Ben, I guess I'll be seeing you next week. This time next week we'll be at World Dom 8. Are you going to be there?
Oh no, I can't make it to next week. I really got it.
Yeah. It's going to be fire. I mean, they've done shit all promo, you know. It's kind of a bit galling, really. I mean, the most...
Is that the full card, you know?
I believe so. I think there might be one... You'd think there'd be one or two, you know, secret battles. I think there's like 5 battles on the card. I mean, the card is fire, though. Like, the card is seriously one of the best King of the Dot cards for ages. You know, it's a really impressive card. So... Who knows? You know, the most promo that seems to be going is Sol going at Arsenal on Twitter, which is pretty amazing. So I think that bodes well for the clash. But yeah, just to everyone listening, again, I want to reiterate, go find these battles. These are terrific battles. Hopefully you'll see these fucking battles on Reddit or whatever. Hopefully they will break out into the viral ecosphere and, you know, have lives beyond Battle Rap. As always, follow the show at BattleResume. Get in touch with me, battleresume@gmail.com. Ben, what about yourself? You know, you do a lot of video editing stuff. How do people find your material?
Well, I mean, you can follow me at Mr. Ben Jones on Instagram. I'm doing some videos for Don't Flop at the moment. Oh yeah, so look out for them. There's some good videos coming out. So yeah, just keep an eye on Don't Flop. There's some good little social videos that yeah, good fun with some big names.
Yeah, and I should say as well, Ben, you know, does a lot of editing for BRR, most notably the Mastermind stuff. Like, you know, really do some terrific work on there. Really kind of make the makes the game pop, and kind of rescued the Rap Is Full one recently as well, which was slightly barbaric. If you guys saw the original cut, you'd be very shocked. But still, you know, did that and did the Reading one, obviously did the BRR and the Park one with and Danny, amongst other things. So yeah, guys, I guess what we got coming out this week, we got top 5 Ogmios rounds coming out at the end of the week with Jonathan Rimmer. We're going to be doing a Mastermind with Lazy Us Jack and Will Ross probably the week after that. But yeah, let me know down below what guests you want to see on the show as well. I'm kind of canvassing at the moment. I tend to do them in batches. Shout again to Bagnall and Speak Up and Lad Bible and Times Change and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, Ben, thanks again, man.
No problem.